I understand managing high-ticket projects in your respective organizations, helping an organization to renew it. I share with you some insights on change management. You all know change management, so it's more about sharing some of our experiences. Just to be on the same wavelength, I just thought that we do a small exercise just to kind of be on the same length on what is change management, the term all about. What I would request you is just identify a partner who is sitting next to you. I just want you to go through a small exercise just to kind of get a common understanding about what this means. Just identify one person who is next to you. Okay, you identified one person who is next to you. Now what you do is, one of you should hold your fist tight, okay? And the other person has to unfold the fist, okay? One of you has to hold the fist tight, and let's quickly do this. So identify a partner for yourself, and one of you has to hold the fist tight, and the other person has to unfold the fist. Just get on. Yeah. Yeah. Identify a partner for yourself. And do what? And the other person has to unfold the fist, yeah? Yeah, do it.
And I need to open it up.
Yeah? Okay. Don't wait and watch, that's not project management, right? Just do it. Okay, if you have done it, just exchange your roles, okay? The other person unfolds the fist and, yeah, you hold the fist. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Now I understand that project management is all about, seeing where the wind is blowing. and doing it if it really makes sense. Okay. How many of you found it difficult to open your partner's fist? Okay. Why? And the question is, did I ask you to forcefully open the fist? You just ask the person, right? Can you please open the fist? Obviously, some of you may be more ingenious, tickle, and yeah, there are other ways. But change management is about understanding paradigms. Some of that, what we notice, paradigms such as are the object. We don't generally take accountability, so it's better not to define objectives. Better not to kind of get into KRS. So some known paradigms and some unknown things which we ourselves may not realize. And change management is all about understanding individuals and organizational paradigms and managing change by understanding and then defining the right principles for change management. And when you do that, then you truly discover who you are. And then you become an individual of consequence. And then you build an organization of consequence. And that is all about change management. This is the leadership agenda, and leadership is about each one of us here. You define the strategic agenda of the organization, whether it is getting into new markets, defining new identity for your organization, or a new architecture for your organization, and then executing it. And when you execute that, then obviously you take cognizance of the organizational culture and ensure that you are able to demonstrate leadership, get leadership from each one of the people in the organization, and make change happen. So this is the overall architecture about change management. Leadership is all about defining the strategy or helping define the strategy and helping execute by being sensitive to the culture and by demonstrating leadership and getting leadership from each one of us. And if that is so, then what is the DNA of change management? Obviously, these are not illustrative. They're just illustrative. They are not exhaustive. A lot of organizations have this Me Too survival issues. Okay, we are a commodity, or we customers are happy with us, but they may want to shift because tomorrow they get a better product. So we are competing on price, and then you want to actually move into a situation where you differentiate and you're able to demonstrate leadership. Or it could be an issue of dissatisfaction. You want to convert that into satisfaction. Or it could be about silos, processes. So any of these become change management issues, And then in order to navigate, obviously you have various mechanisms, you have tools, methodologies, processes, and these are just some of those. Some of the things that really come in the way that we experienced is what's happening right now in the Indian industry. A lot of leaders, even 2 months back, were saying that this recession is going to pass. It's not going to affect us. And day after day, you actually hear people confessing, "Oh my God, it's going to, it's going to affect our industry." How many of you felt better when you found that your leaders were stupid? Because people thought they were over smart, and then they thought that it's not going to impact the industry where you are actually globally connected. And it will pass is a huge change issue. Okay, it's not going to matter. And when it really kind of, it sinks in, another thing that's happening right now in the industry is people are getting into meetings. People are getting into kind of some secret kind of conversations. They're not talking about it. It's almost like, nobody knows what's happening. They know that there's a problem with the industry, there's a problem with the organization, there's a problem with customers, there's a problem with, liquidity. And then you have leaders and different, departments just ensconced into small groups and talking and doing, in meetings. And then kind of stop communicating to people. So everybody's wondering, oh my God, what's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my company? What is the future going to be like? That's a huge showstopper because change requires you to communicate. The third is focus on cost rather than on eliminating waste. It's basically about focus on the symptoms rather than focus on the real problem. In fact, we keep going to organizations, and today everybody in organizations, what they're doing is revisiting their budgets and seeing what items they can remove. Rather than look at what is it that we can do to take advantage of this recession. If one company has to survive, why can't it be our company? If one player has to kind of really be successful, why can't we be that? So rather than that, everybody's talking about, can we look at, cutting cost? Can we look at, doing some simple measures? Can we remove some people so that, we can be, we can manage the situation? So focusing on symptoms rather than on the real problem is a huge showstopper. Then thinking in silos, each department now making plans for change management. And then losing equanimity where you start actually reacting, you start actually becoming aggressive, you stop, losing the patience. And that's a huge showstopper because when you do not have the equanimity, which means that when you're successful, you're still at peace with yourself. When you are losing, still you're at peace with yourself, and you manage the organization because you're a steward of the organization. Your win is not your win, your loss is not your loss. It's basically a responsibility that you're holding as a leader. So these are the huge showstoppers. I want to take you through the change management that happened in Gillette. The reason why I want to take you through this change management is because this change management relates to downturn, something that we can use for downturn. It's about downsizing. It's about downsizing of 300 people. And Gillette, when it became part of Procter & Gamble, and this became a huge change agenda, that how do you manage this agenda of downsizing 300 people, starting with their managing director down below. And from this example, I also want to share with you some of the key principles of change management, and probably some of these principles may be relevant in other change initiatives as well. P&G, when it acquired Gillette, it was a great win-win situation. Yeah, P&G focuses on all the women's products, and Gillette focuses on the men's products, and so here you are serving the entire globe. That's wonderful. It was a win-win for everybody, except for some employees who didn't fit into the scheme of things, because Gillette basically had a very different model of selling, whereas Procter & Gamble had a very different model of selling. Procter & Gamble focuses on branding, marketing, whereas Gillette focuses on sales, going to the dealers, being present in the market. So the profiles are very, very different. And because of that, close to 300 people had to be downsized. Obviously, you don't need 2 vice president HR, 2 vice president IT, 2 vice president marketing. So starting from the top levels, below levels. So we had a huge challenge.